It's David here from Freedom Founders. I want to talk to you today a little bit about opportunity cost. What is opportunity cost? Well, it's when you decide to take on one particular thing, project, career, profession, investment, new business activity, whatever it is you decide you want to spend some time, put some capital into, focus on for a while, or maybe indefinitely. There's an opportunity cost there because it's taking you away from something else. That's the whole idea. We can't do everything in life. We can't do all things. We can't make all kinds of investments. We can't be here, there, and everywhere at the same time. There's always an opportunity cost. We have to balance and try to decide to the best of our ability where to put our focus, our time, our capital. That's always the question at hand. Now, I think doing that in a vacuum, in other words, by yourself, by oneself, is probably not the smartest thing to do. And to try to find one particular advisor, a CPA or attorney, financial advisor, one coach or consultant even that is probably not a good idea. You need to get feedback, perspective from a number of people. I'll get to that in a minute, but let's talk about opportunity cost of being in private practice today. You know, when I started out in dental school back in the late 70s and graduated in the early 80s from dental school, that was a path that was very conventional, very traditional. Whether you went into dentistry or medicine or chiropractic or veterinary medicine, you know, the professions was a great place to be. And I'm not saying it's not today. It's still very respected. It's something that we serve people, and I get all that, and I love doing that. The problem is that there's an opportunity cost there. And now that cost is getting greater and greater, is it not? I mean, the debt load that young graduating students are carrying on their backs today, starting out in their career, starting out in their practice, is humongous relative to what most of my colleagues, myself, came out with. I came out with just small five figures and could pay that off with relatively easily in a relatively short period of time. Today, it's totally different. That debt factor is a huge load. Add to that fact that the marginalization of the revenues from practice being controlled by the insurance companies today, just cramping down, makes it very difficult for the solo practitioner to get a leg up anywhere today. It's very difficult. It's different times is my point. And I think different times call for different solutions, different answers, calls for different questions. So here's my point. I truly believe the opportunity cost by going down that traditional road, taking on all that debt, coming out into an industry today that's vastly changed from what it was 30 years ago when I got started, it bears some thought. Do I do that? Now, if you're already there, if you're already in practice, you've already taken on the practice debt, you're paying off the student loan debt, okay, you're there. And I'm not saying you can't do it, but you got to be really smart about it. You need to really get the help and the coaching and optimize that practice. Don't sit back and continue to think you can do it all yourself, because we can't know it all. My advice is you get coaching consulting. My advice also to you, if you're there, is get a plan B going. Plan B for me was real estate. I started my plan B when I was still my first year in dental school, buying my first rental property, learned how to do that, got great coaching consulting. I got within groups that taught me how to do it the right way, and I built up that platform alongside my dental practice so that when I needed to exit my practice after my daughter, who had leukemia and epilepsy and a liver transplant, I could leave practice, sell out, and go spend time with her. That was really important to me. You may have other reasons why you might want to exit or have more free time. A plan B will give that to you, but you've got to start with intentionality. You've got to begin it. You've got to get the right help with that. If you're thinking about going out after you graduate and buying a practice and taking on that debt load, I would think twice about that also. Again, I'm not saying there's a right or wrong answer, but don't just follow a traditional path because everybody else says to do it. People say, well, yes, you can make more money as an owner of the practice, an owner of the quote business, which I think is really a job for most dentists, but you can make more money. Well, I'd say technically you probably can. But think about the opportunity cost, because owning a business is different than working in it. If you own the practice, you've got to work in it as the provider, the dentist provider, providing the care. You've got to take all the CE to keep your skill set up there, but you've also got to learn how to be a business owner. See, most real business owners don't do both. Most real business owners aren't actually working in the business, or maybe they're doing a small piece of it because they just love that piece. But you go to a franchise owner, a McDonald's owner who owns multiple franchises, he or she is not working there mixing up the shakes, not managing the people, not taking orders. No, that business owner is working on the business and has other people doing the work. So again, there's a real conflict here, I think, in the professions which are just not set up. In most cases, we don't have the training to be both, to be the technician, the skilled technician, and the business owner. We don't have that training. We try to do it both. My point is, I could do it. My colleagues could do it back in the 80s and 90s. Today it's different. And I think trying to do both, I think there's a huge opportunity cost in that. I think twice. In fact, I've got doctors and freedom founders right now that are not going into practice. They're staying independent contractors or associates and building their plan B because why? They have more time. See, when you don't have to focus on all the business aspects, you can just focus on going in and doing the dentistry, the clinical work, and then leave and go do other stuff. You've got time for your family. You've got time to build a plan B. I just would think twice today. That's all. I think twice. There's different ways to go about life today, and you don't have to follow the path of the majority. That's my point. In fact, don't follow the path of the majority because the majority is usually wrong. All right, so getting back to my initial point, where do you get the advice and perspective of multiple people who don't have their hand in your back pocket, trying to extract fees and consulting and stuff like that? You do it in a mastermind group. You do it in a group where there's all kinds of people who understand practice and business and marketing and HR and real estate and taxation all in one place. You can do that in a weekend if you get with the right group. Now, obviously, I'm very biased towards freedom founders because that's what we do, and we focus on professional practice owners, primarily dentists, but other doctors, chiros, veterinarians, who are in the same boat trying to figure out what's the best path. Do they stay on the current path? Do they build a plan B? How do you do it? If you want to get all the advice in one place at one time and have a chance to come back to that advice and get that feedback on a regular basis, it's so powerful. That's why I'm a part of 5 different masterminds right now, because I love the concept where I can take my ideas, my challenges, my opportunities, and get the feedback so I can say, what is the cost if I do this versus that? How do I mitigate the risk in this versus that? That's so powerful. If you're not doing that, you're missing out on a huge part of your life moving forward faster, with more expediency, with less stepping on the mines in the minefield. Avoid all that. Put the investment where it counts the most, and that's in you and the people you surround yourself with. All right, that's a little bit of a rant today, but I feel very, very compelled to lay it out there for you. All right, I hope that helps. I hope to meet you someday. Stay tuned into Freedom Founders. We'll take you where you want to go. Talk to you soon.